star, and then the amount that you're drawing for, which could be daily, 2 kwacha, weekly show. Come and win. So stand a chance to win.
A lovely good evening. Welcome to the Primetime News on MUVI TV. We get down into the headlines. Mulungushi villagers in Milenge district in need of more health workers. ZFE calls on government to increase its share in the mining sector. Kabwe Mayor Patrick Chishala saddened with the poor conditions of workers in Kabwe. Brian Munduwile doubts the corruption fight. Lectures HH on contractual procedure. Residents of Chongwe Luano area demanding for clean drinking water. Now with the details, I'm Virginia Chilongo. Residents of Mulungushi village in Milenge district of Luapula province are appealing for more health workers in the district to enhance medical treatment. Speaking to MUVI TV News, Dines Chalwe says despite the village having a health post, the facility only has 1 health worker who is currently not available, making those who are sick go to Luela and Milumbi health facilities, which is 30 kilometers away. And Muluwa Knife, a village head woman, Mwangombwa, explains that expectant mothers are made to walk distances to Luelwa Health Facility and some to Mansa General Hospital. Now, meanwhile, a Musuka area councillor, Richard Muluwa, has called on government to send more health workers to the facility.
With the nearest health facility being 30 kilometers from Mulungushi area of Musoka Ward in Milenga district, Mulungushi village and other surrounding villages have been given a health post which only has 1 health worker who has not been around for over 2 weeks, making residents who fall sick to be vulnerable, especially expectant mothers. And village head woman Mwangumba gives more details. Meanwhile, Musuka Ward councillor had this to say.
Yeah, the referral, they usually take the patients to Luela Rural Health. Acceptable to carry a patient on a bicycle to cover a distance of about 30 kilometers plus.
It was found closed by 12 hours, and it was discovered that it has considered sending more health workers.
So says COVID-19 has created an urgent need for the past 2 years and has urged all citizens to get vaccinated. Pandemic, which has resulted in many deaths among health workers and different health. We have more in this report.
Appropriately. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost, unprecedented misery, new crisis. Indeed, it has. The world has never been in so much need of us in the front line. The people who deliver the services on which we all demonstration of just how much really on when the people who protect our health are themselves by the pandemic, as those employed or contracted being healthcare workers. The pandemic, it is estimated that globally the world we have lost more than 300 health workers from COVID-19. There has been challenges
ruling United Party for National Hakainde Hichilema is committed to ensuring media freedom for a thriving democracy and hard in providing checks and balances, transparency and accountability. He says the new Dawn government
to him, journalists should take advantage of fake news. The president is committed to call upon all media houses in the country to ensure that they work together to achieve, and let's better things together, we can fix Zambia.
Through the Zambia Consolidated Cobra Mineral Deposits, including Timili, proposed that government a 50% share.
For Botswana, as Botswana tend its source case that works to the detriment of the people. 1967 transformed from one of the poorest nations in the world several deposits, including gold, which and going the Botswana way in the mining with companies, but in opening up
game show. It's a deal. Standard chance, so many letters for Zara app for grabs. Not forgetting Luzulu, Chelete, Cashman at the end, which is a grand draw. So how to play? Dial *265 *1 quickly 3 kwacha and grand 5 kwacha. That is all you got to do to play.
How to use your home Airtel. Step 2. Learn the language and culture. Step 3. Pay your bills in a foreign country using your home Airtel Money wallet. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Says the statistics are higher than the average income of a Zambian worker. He is of the view that many of the residents in the country are unable to afford 3 square meals a day. Mr. Ngoma has implored government to put up mechanisms to curb the continued increase in the cost of living among its citizens.
Is also Center for Theological Reflection, JC3R, March 2022 research. The cost of living is standing at the average income of a Zambian worker. Economic growth for its own sake has been criticized for many years for not being inclusive and pro-poor, including physical health, education, water and sanitation is outcomes. In order to achieve the agenda of socio-economic transformation, it is important that the economic transformation be centered on industrialization.
Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala says government is committed to ensuring that employees getting in the economy is vital to the government's desire. Mr. Chitambala has also called on the trade unions to rise. Meanwhile, Kabwe Mayor Patrick Chishala is not happy that workers have been subjected to sit down on the road after their march past during the Labor Day celebrations. We have more in this report. On to Chongwe, where Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo has called on both government and private employees to improve on their works and services. Chongwe District, on Sunday afternoon, Ms. Masebo says government is committed to collaborate with all employees, including formal and informal sector, to improve the nation's productivity.
As aid both government and private employees to improve on their works and services so as to participate in developing the country and also to have a better living. Speaking at the labor commemoration, formal and informal employees to improve the nation, she stated the government is aware of what employees go through 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic and has further urged all government workers.
Development of any kind, it will never be possible in the absence of high-quality leadership. This should be coupled with a good working environment, with the various organizations that continue to support the government agenda and policy direction. In this regard, and will always protect and support you, the workers. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this opportunity to remind you all that in order to attain universal health coverage, the Ministry of Health has prioritized the implementation of primary health care intervention. We continue to fight various diseases which pose public health threats. Most of these diseases can be prevented by vaccines. These include COVID-19, polio, measles, and cholera.
Caroline Mwanza reporting for MUVI TV News, Lusaka.
The Opposition Patriotic Front (PF) has told President Hakainde Hichilema that the fight against corruption cannot be an everyday topic. Speaking when he featured on MUVI TV's The Assignment program last night, leader of the opposition in Parliament, Brian Munduwile, says instructions have already been done with regards to the matter in question, adding that law enforcement agencies are in motion. He stressed that people get fatigued if one talks about the same thing. It means they have done nothing. He says if at every juncture, that is when the president is talking about, the audience sometimes gets fatigued if you talk about the same things over and over again. Mr. Munduwile says sometimes talking about something, then people will wait to see actions. Meanwhile, Munduwile says the president squandered a big opportunity to explain to the Zambians how he intends to revive the economy and reduce the cost of living. Meanwhile, Mr. Munduwile has rubbed trade by the New Dawn government on suppliers is not correct. He says the contractual procedure in the procurement process is very clear and well defined, hence such allegations are not correct.
Talk about the fight against corruption. There are a number of gaps made that the president ignores and just picks up the phone and calls and says, well, I'm satisfied with the response. Yeah. So, in short, yes, the president has this appetite to fight corruption, but I think a lot has to be done. Firstly, he must not trivialize certain reports. It's not about him, investigative wings, to investigate thoroughly. And if certain reports have come to him about certain cases that were being investigated, however uncomfortable, or whether these reports involve somebody close to him, we expect him to come out. And I think that is when people are really going to take it seriously. You remember they took it for the investigation. And that had begun to build new confidence in the people because the president's own ministers were being investigated. Yeah, but if a question against your friend for having supplied fertilizer and then you go quiet, yeah, these are some of the questions that people are asking. So we are saying, yes, we welcome the fight against corruption. You get an engineer, he becomes your managing director. So your company now has capacity to do roads because the managing director, he has no equipment, remember. No wheelbarrow, nothing. Your company does not have. But it's a registered company with NCC on a local market. It's very, very difficult. So you can start a company like that. And because your engineer, who's the managing director, is very well connected themselves to say, yes, when you have a contract, we'll give you a grader, we'll give you a bulldozer, we'll give you. All right? So when a tender is floated, it's able to respond to this particular bid because you, as the owner of the company, you've got a house in Chilenje. You can't come around IP and say there was no capacity in that company. That person had no capacity. That is how capacity, that is how about the equipment. Is it owned or rented or hired? You actually disclose it. Where will they get money to buy one grader for 5 million, 15 million for that set of equipment? So they've got this contract now for 30 million kwacha. Okay? Equipment they have. They've got capacity, financial resources, using the house as a collateral. When they get ever exposed, don't ever get that wrong. There is no time on a government contract where government is a company. The contract provides for how you resolve that problem. It does not invite third parties. It won't call for any other person much said about contract. That contract is complete. It provides for arbitration. If you can't resolve your problem with arbitration, you go to court. And if the client, who's the government, can cash that bond. The bank or the insurance company that gives up that bond makes an undertaking. On presentations, this works. So the issue of supplying air and, well, I don't know. I really don't know.
At Bookmaker Company. Aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police, and every person, young and the old people.
Watcher in our end of season draw.
On MUVI TV, your channel of choice, and this time around it's called the New Deal Game Show, and there's so many latest phones that are up for grabs. Not forgetting Luzulu, be it daily, weekly, and at the end, which is a grand draw. 7-5 grand, 5 quad.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Congrats, bro.
What? You may give her the
Analyst and sustainability special rate weather creation for the industry will contribute in creating massive green jobs for the youth and transitioning to a clean energy. Has proposed an increased federal procurement of electric batteries. Governments of Congo, DR, and India and EU, and kickstart the project
to make decisions. Even now, I'll pick my call, my phone, and begin to call futures out there who have heard this kind of a pronouncement.
Exactly.
And they're already positioning themselves. Mind you, here is government, big guys with money.
Yes.
To them, they don't need to make announcements. To them, it's just to get in and start. Get started, yes. You'll be establish this, but they are buying the cobalt from Zambia and Congo to ensure that this is actualized. And
Zovu says timber export permits will only be given out after inspection for huge volumes for cities in the timber industry. Many agricultural stakeholders are already focusing on the current state of feeder roads. Experts and farmers are worried high costs for rehabilitation of feeder roads.
Feeder road, whether one was walking, cycling, or indeed driving, it is very convenient for business. Marketing season in the agricultural sector.
For the local authorities and people that are concerned, to look into the issue that, the same way the town roads are being opened up, it is essential that our farmers, to the market.
Farmers in Mpongwe district.
As at now, we are almost going into the marketing season. We'll be harvesting our crops, and we need to move them. This one behind me. The road is quite bad, so
achieving bumper harvest alone will not suffice for meaningful
poor road networks. There is in terms of these capital, projects opening up these.
Our roads in the district. It's true, the roads we cannot do them. Therefore, we can't do it because the funds are pure. There is no way we can say we can't do them.
Clearly, the powers that be need to get concerned with this poor state of Manamujende. Reporting for NICE, Mpongwe District, Copperbelt Province.
Residents of Changwe Lungo Rural Health Center, acting in charge, says the area has no water for people that come to the health facility. That people, after 56 years of independence, are still. That story brings us to the end of the Primetime news of more health workers. ZFE calls on government to increase its share in the mining sector. Lectures HH on contractual procedure. Residents of Changwe Lungo, stay tuned for the game show right.
On MUVI TV, your channel of choice, and this time around, TV sets, fridges, and sofas. Lots of money that is up for grabs every day that you're going to participate on the show. Be *265 *13 2 kwacha weekly 3 kwacha, and grand 5 kwacha. And a chance to win anyway!
And for how long have you been working here? People around this place?
Is the greatest.
You don't say.
He strangled. Yes.
Keep quiet. You keep away. You won't even read that. It's the same here, and I'm trying to tell.
Yes, I did. There's no touch it here. Okay. I don't know. Can you notes are not incomplete?
No, it's Monday.
No. Oh yes. Happy Labor Day to everybody. We
Yep.
are laborers. It's a lovely good evening. My name is Stella Ndalama.
And of course, Dr. B. What do I feel
At
like?
least I check up on you because you know Nimpia Shabati.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like giving out some. I feel like playing the game, basically.
Okay, so we're gonna play the game.
Yeah.
Star.
Yep.
13275 star. 2 hash for the daily, 3 hash for the weekly.
Okay, the daily draw allows you to be in the daily draw, which is what we'll be drawing. Star 2 hash, you will have every kwacha up to about 2,000 kwacha.
Yep. Just like that, all you need to do is start qualify, but you need to make sure that Namkwataka minimum cost 6 kwacha, Airtel money, MTN money. But
play the game.
Down,
yeah, exactly. Yes, Stella.
Tuafika pesa.
Okay, tuafika pakwe bati, tulande kwati. Kwali bana weekly draw. Muveka sitofu, muveka maafu, so ranging from 5 star, 13275 star, and of course 3 and amount of money from about 2,000 kwacha all the way up to
me, PayPal one window, mukazita right daily star, mwavika pochi 2 and then hash for daily, mwasavika for 3 and then hash
for the weekly.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to button, and of course make sure you are dialing and not sending SMS.
Hello, good evening, my Justina.
Good evening.
One thing. Hello.
Hello, Dine.
Hello.
Hello, Dine, Justina.
Hello.
Dine, hello.
Nikumverani manja hapa, sinazo converse.
Hey.
So hapa manja wa Justina mkumbuka fast.
Thank you, child, mama.
Bora. So but Justina ni envelope ya.
Na?
Mwaiona envelope and manja nsegule envelope. Allow me to open the envelope. In this envelope, I have the rules of the game. Left door. Kwa mene kwa door, so niuze natiri ku left. Okay. Na segula, mulipe vili voltomu. Na kama envelope.
Segula door. Justina,
so
play the game now.
Justina, tizacha game, in this mumadoza wala mungangaya something but sisitiziva naimwe simuziva so
inenufuna beta door.
Okay, but Justina apa tuko busy leo nile bade na tukombashana na papa tuchitule bomba na kama ipela ko
50 kwacha
nifaka po 50 kwacha ingare 650 mzake ngapi?
Are you sure you sense mawina 600 gwanje amene amabwera
ni amene
something Dr. Bia sekula ajusi mweza mawina 800 Dr. Bia can drama day.
Okay.
Play more because you could be, of course, the number could be the one we pick.
Weekly, nominated day as a team for Daita, as a team 50. Make sure you see Nangu 265 star. And weekly mwavika post yellow match the hash game 5 because you see match expire. Sasa na mood yakwe bantu kukawa kufa. Mzambia play keep the month bana chama. When you down those just start to make sure it's a movie thing.
Yeah.
Make sure it's coming to number 2. Put in 1. Our countdown is running up. Also,
make sure you're 5-star and of course. Okay, so what I draw. Okay, so we're going to
because let's show it 5.
Okay.
So 5 and 10 2 6 5.
Play. The more you definitely are and of course.
Now you stand the chance
getting hot in here on her
6:45. Yeah, but then game wa 3 2 1.
Your number could be the number that we pick right here.
It's running, it's starting to run.
The numbers are running.
Yeah.
We are in the new deal game show. That's what we're talking about. Make sure you are playing. The numbers are running. The numbers are running.
They are. There they go. Let's go. 10, 9.
Yep. Okay. The person behind this number. Star 132753 3 and 2 and 4. And of course, the one that does not 5. So I would encourage you to play game 5. You know, Katundu wa Munyumba prize, which is
okay. So
BMW.
I keep trying. So I'm trying. I'll not take your call.
Call us when we tell. Definitely, we are still trying to call that number that was in the draw. The number is busy.
So I'm trying the second time.
Yep. And not just when you feel like calling us. So make sure you're playing for you because we have not asked you to call us, but make the right thing.
Okay, but I don't know if this phone is correct.
Really? So that number was okay.
No,
so you could be, yeah? Okay, and we're playing the game and make sure that you are playing
9, 8, 7
and
action. Our next
are definitely ready to, you know, pick
How are you? Paul, Mr. Paul, where are you answering our call from? Okay. Mwikati mwenje mwajinga mulusakange mabanga mwane. Yes, and his name is Mr.
Okay.
Control. Obviously, he's in Solvency. So, boss, what
play the game. We will definitely. Let me see. How much? Okay. I'll give
that's 51 seconds. It's 5-star. 1 3. Ikafika 5. Muzabwela tumfwane lelo. Ewa ni kuchaya game 5. Ni kumwamfwe. Na papata. Na papata. So tukamvera mwisho wa director na wewe pamoja. Enter. 6 seconds to go. Dr. B.
Hush. Remember this draw as well as in the daily draw. Getting a 500 kwacha, right? Where you stand a chance of winning that BMW 6. And of course, there is also the weekly draw. Where there is also fridges, stoves, microwaves, and lots of goodies. And kwacha on a weekly basis. Make sure.
So 2 more minutes to go. Bantu mwankala broku. Muma Airtel money, muma MTN money, muma Zamte ukwacha manjelele mulima negative 40. So make your money. Pangani drama panu pa new deal game show. Pamene basalira. De kani ningenemo 5 quarter and then you stand a chance. Right thing. Buy. Ashi sendi. Make it sikwacha. Mumoba. Ena nguma draws munga ni weekly draw. Making any sure. Then titosemo ya mene iyo. Funa ma transactions yanu yonse yamene mupanga zinkala successive. And pa option 1 bwanji poikamo mobile pay mene mwangene samo kaidi. So play the game ako at least mu fridge mwamoneka kwa bwino. You just dip into your pockets and then align them with their money. 275 star 5 hash send. So a minute to because this
Yes, we are.
Okay, so play the game. 1 minute next 1 minute 500 kwata muntu winangwiza mumyanga kaidi. All chances you have of winning 10 game hii. Playing dialing star 265 star. So kuzimbwembwe kandrama zabet. Anyway drama zanu kupasa kuti tikazidi yakapo pano monga ni drama zatu kazi playing game teyani game so that has send. Yes, so tuse kwateni number bigisi na buringe kwale kwateni mwasirozi
game ye 5 nikuvea
off the car so pamentili bana na kandeke hapa already have a caller.
Yeah,
hello what game
1943
1971
ainyani fera shangwe ati kustabwanya pa phone 0971 yes ma so ngati mwate yapana ati funa kutigwa ngapo but ndabwata baonesa ati tuli na
375 star 5 hash
hash mwafika pa hash mwastabwanje
ndinachitika option 1 huyo yanipasa mawento 5 kwacha so MUVI TV yanipasa na reference number 13275
plan is exactly as I expected. So maniana so bamalume in case asitabwanje kani mairo
wino
okay so 18 hours mwino window ainika
okay
yeah
and yes I'm
oh manjosa pa mzimu ati ndani zina yanu futi na fuandu okay zikomo kwa mbili ba stand for dying mupitili tawama ainika mukaenda chawama izi ku Makeni side kwa mukaenda linga then you drop patoto zako ku go center te
yeah isinzi wako kwa go center
okay tizamutumilani phone tizakupasana ma direction thank you so much mailo
okay
baba bululu kande kabe game 5 dao star abene bachoka kukambira baba bene bakola batu manje 5 kwacha alipiliwa ku MUVI TV collections muzikonka step to step let's play the game dao star 265 side kungale 500
are winning big so definitely it means you are in game 5 and if you can do some transactions right here but not you're playing the game right
4 5 kudala mumanja tungelesa mukatu mwabene nguja mumoba umana kera chape yes so famene mama audience
the number okay so here we go
kon volume mutibilane buno bwi 0978 oh so pasa ni number manja
0978
12
15
55 mwapapa loud speaker 0978 12 mwate ya game ta
game 5 star 5 hash
ndeni atita bwaji bala mwamene mafoto kwa zila vintu anyway let's go vena nguwa zaitenga 500 kwaja
okay
kumwamba ko can we have the confirmation so by innocent pili bwanja ati lero muzawina kwa something okay so mnauza kwa ngati pa nyumba okay so mukara kuti the confirmation up there okay so we are still waiting for the confirmation but kuti za vote kwa kwatira malume tumilani
innocent pili
yamene innocent pili zikomo kwambisho hapa kukumbira pa TV naye wanuza kutini zimuntu muzitumako na tiraile malume tiraile yes so zikomo kwambiri emwe bamene muzaku wineko pano pa new deal game show yeah so continue playing the mlenga
and of course Dr. BI
with Brand Talk yeah Deal game show. The deal. Stand and there's so many latest phones that are up for grabs every day that you're going to star 265. You're drawing for which could be daily to game show. Come and win.
I should keep quiet about it.
I think I ran past the document. It's just a small loose end.
That's
like I said. It's
yes, madam. You can take a look. But why is this amount that's reflected here? Oh, okay. I think on that one, I'll need to compare notes with the accounts. At the point of having this meeting, if you're going to present incomplete reports. Can you account for this amount, please? Then we can have this meeting later. I have an important phone call to make. Excuse me.
Okay, Your Highness.
This is Zambia.
Of every platform, talk about the fight against corruption. There are a number of gaps within. There are certain cases people have been following up, phone and calls, and he says, "Well, I'm satisfied with the response." Yeah. So, in short, yes, and what he thinks. If the Zambian people are so, and if certain reports have come to him about certain cases that were being investigated, however, they're going to take it seriously. You remember the two cases with our dear colleagues, Honorable AFRICA-LITOVIA and Honorable confidence in the people, because the president's own ministers were being investigated. Yeah, but if there is your friend for having supplied fertilizer, and then you go quiet. Yeah, these are some of the questions that people are asking. So we are saying, yes, just the owner of the company. You don't even run it. You get an engineer for 10 years. He supervised roads and so on. He's got the competence. He has DC, it's registered everywhere, and it has engineers. Because your engineer, who is the managing director, is very well connected to commit themselves to say, yes, when you have so this person has got options where to hire equipment. When a tender is floated, it's able to respond to this particular bid because you, as the owner of the company, are required for that particular contract. You can't come around IP and say there was no capacity in that company. In the tender document, you even disclose. They'll ask about the equipment. Is it owned? Or otherwise, many of our young entrepreneurs today, where will they get money to buy one grader for 5 million, 15 million process? In terms of human resource, they qualify. In terms of technical collateral, when they get that contract and the accessor ever get that wrong, there is no time on a government contract where government is a company. The contract provides for how you resolve that problem. It does not invite third parties. Where there's so much said about contract. That contract is complete. It provides for arbitration. If you can't resolve a problem, that the contract is finally terminated. The patient, they'll pay. So then the issue of, I hope it came from the Auditor General.
This is This is Zambia, Christian nation. Yeah, yeah. Shivas. Zambia, Christian nation. Yeah, yeah.
Land talk. On and given his sentiments of the current political atmosphere, talking about corruption too much that it is now beginning to spoken about. Now today our topic is Karen, who is a Democratic Party member, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Madam Virginia, and good.
It's Ask MUVI TV, where we are streaming this in the studio. Many topics on the many issues that we're going to discuss in your operations.
It's quite calm. So yes, including foreigners, to enjoy the number of challenges in this country. Any other party regarding apart from PF, people to know we got independence. It's not actually new. A brutal regime who supported PF. Zambia is enjoying, they inform you that this peace you see today, and I'm sure after you're enjoying. So it's very cardinal.
You're also from the opposition, the Democratic Party. Your views on the current...
As opposition leaders, we are looking at it in the angle where, Virginia, we need to understand, needs to reduce the prices of commodities, but that is quite a strange and different. Because the people of Zambia were not seeing the infrastructure development and the prices of fertilizer. The UND government, the first increment
party, the Democratic.
Those issues that I'm raising to you, Madam Virginia, it is so sad. You are receiving calls. You are receiving a lot of things in one way or another because we are opposition as well as the people who are living in Zambia of meaning at the same price.
Are you free?
We have been free, so that is a which is going to be in power. We need to know to say we are able to, in the way political parties have been run since the time of Kaunda, since the time we got independence. I'm going to answer that question. So regard again, because we are receiving a lot of defectors from almost, but unfortunately nothing of the things which we are promised has been fulfilled. And also a lot of Zambians join in the party because they want to say the manifesto that we are able to solve every problem and every challenge which Zambia has been facing as of late.
Okay, the cost of living. I'm aware that even to the media, cost of living in Zambia.
Zambia have never seen such a. None of the promises has been fulfilled. To not to say, since the fuel which they can say it reduced that has been given, they are saying to say it is because of the war which is happening in Russia as well as between Russia. Say we have increased the prices of fuel up to this point because it is one of the it was made. It is not because of the issue of Russia or. Apart from that, Madam Virginia, the government is able to boast about free education. We need to know to say that this free education that every month in their homes, the budget has increased. Apart from that, such increments in Zambia have never been seen before. Apart from that, we need to know to agreed that we can be able to, wouldn't have happened, and it has not even happened because according to them, now that is not how a country is supposed to be run, Madam Virginia. To be handing over our MF is just it is not going to be a solution for Zambia because which has developed as a result of it from the government when it comes to the cost of living, including the things they are supposed to be, what is supposed to be paid. But today, they are...
maybe let me come to you, Mr. Malama. I see you're quite eager to come in. How you would respond to that as a RPP, a party that is...
You meet a person in an orphan, just so that that person kamokadi will a certain stage where if you are being an orphan, this is a group of prodigal sons from the PF. These guys are complaining about the high cost of living. They have no strategy. They are ever complaining. Even the time of election. Let me remind my brother here. This time, the fact that we have provided the streets and provide quality leadership that we are failing to provide because they are citizens of this country. If they talk about, not at a national level, because it's not their responsibility, at that they are going to capitalize on and change the status quo of them. Ever since independence in 1964, tell me the government, there will be no such a government. What we can call economy, like the members of the DP. In fact, Virginia, what you should do is, next time when you invite me, don't call me here, we discuss the CDF. We've got so many cooperatives they are given in their respect. You never see not even a 10,000 kwacha in their lives. But please provide this private entrepreneur. And when because this is the DP then. Instead, that's DP for you. That's even Jesus himself.
Well, Simkoko had spoken about, he had mentioned that some of the promises, or maybe most of the promises that were made by the UPND have not been fulfilled. That is according to him. So maybe
it's 5 years.
Surely, in terms of,
if you were failing to buy a bag of mini meal during the PF lane, when the president was opening Parliament last time, he mentioned Zambian should be at your house. Forget. When you become lazy, a serious person, hardworking, you are kicking poverty. As a government, to enter, to disfigure. When you see there is poverty in your house, it is time for you to come out of your house. And we did not promise any person that within, and that promise will never come. Even the people who are lazy, to come on the media and for the CDF, we give an individual, or we give enjoy.
Okay.
Let's not promote laziness.
Okay.
So according to the raised issues, One thing that is for sure is that they promise. So we need to know to say, when we come to the CDF, I'm going to tell to say the 25.7 million is the lowest CDF going to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. You will not go to the Ministry of Youth and looking for. It's within the 26.7 rooms which are not in good structure. It's also coming from the same point when it comes to empowerment. Steve, we need to know to say, this is the lowest to know to say, in as much as we are here trying to in the cost of living. I'm going to tell you to say, most of the promises, we are not asking to give us money. We are asking him to deliver what he promised. But one thing which is for sure is this, to say, 9 months in government future. If you can't take, we need to know to say, the mining companies have been given tax holidays. They've been received, or that has been introduced. The people who are working currently, they have borrowed in new previously, was bought at 120 kwacha. This of millimil today, it is 180 kwacha in several shops which we have in the same recent one. So if we say the duty of the opposition political party.
All right, maybe let me come to you, Mr. Malama. I think there was a Labor Day where we commemorated, Labor Day. But then let me talk about being an entrepreneur.
I was the conditions. The minimum wage should be increased. Wage should be reviewed. The abusing leadership of His Excellency Saka in the HLM. This is something real. Our own children, our own uncles, our own auntie, the Minister of Labour, that please look into this. Yeah, for real. It needs labour reforms.
Okay.
It is wrong to ask them that question. It is very, very wrong. Wrong mindset. Up to now, that's why they are still disorganized. They are already order, so that they stop misleading of the DP, standing before the camera. They are confused. They don't even know which camp my young brother is in leadership. Let him go and advise his president, Dari Kalava. My boss, can we put our house in order? So that even as we criticize UPND, we've got a strong foundation like Findeco House. And this sand they are standing on, underneath there is a group of people who are not organized session, because I want to believe that
maybe we'll get back.
Why should we can
coming to the issue of stabilization of the political party? I believe that there is no any political party whose house is not in order at councillorship level in Southern that is infringing on the freedom of expression. We should be on media, we should be on camera, and we should. The Minister of Labour, Madam Tambatamba, one, they suffer from what has Japan done? 24-hour economy, which is running for 24 hours, is the way out. Apart from that, which individual citizens are supposed to pay? I will advise again to say, instead of the government pay or the then the same one, then reduce the tax which they pay. Besides that, Madam Virginia, the labor force in Zambia, citizens, the youth who are not employed at the moment.
And I mean, earlier on you were speaking about
last to recruit the individuals, meaning I think they're waiting for the IMF again